Hello and welcome to another video. My name is Brian Abuga. In today's video, I'll be reviewing this budget smartphone. It's the Redmi 14C. I've been using it for the past few weeks, so I'll just do a quick review and maybe show you what my experience has been so that you can decide whether this phone will be for you. It comes in at around $120 depending on where you are. I'll leave a link in the description and the pinned comment where you can find this. So to get started, I'll just show you what comes in the box. So I'll just set the box aside. I lost one of the items here, the SIM ejector tool, which you should find in the box, so don't mind that. So of course you'll have a user manual, you'll have a clear case, you'll get this free case, which is what I've been using to protect the phone. And then there's a USB Type-C charger. I haven't used this, it's still new. I've just left it in the box as a spare since you already have other cables. So I'll just set this aside and you'll get a 33-watt power charging brick. It's 33 watts, but I'll talk more about that later when I'm talking about the battery and charging in the phone. So I'll just set this aside and bring the phone. This is what you came here to see. So you can see it's quite a large phone. At the back there's a huge camera bump, there's a flashlight and cameras. This is not a camera, these two are cameras. It's a dual camera setup. So here at the back it's made of glass. This is the starry blue color. There are three other color options which you can find on the side. This is how it looks. It's a plastic frame. Here you have the power button, which also has a fingerprint sensor. And this is the volume. These are the volume buttons. At the bottom there's a speaker. It's a single speaker. It's not a stereo setup. Then here is the Type-C charging port and a microphone. This is the microphone which you'll be using when you're making calls. At the top there's a 3.5mm headphone jack. Here on the side you have the SIM card slot. It is a dual SIM setup with an extra slot for your memory card if you want to expand the storage on this phone. On the front there's a 6.88-inch display, IPS LCD screen with a refresh rate of 120 Hz, and it's Gorilla Glass 3, so it has some level of protection for a budget phone. That's a decent enough protection, but you'll have to put a screen protector on this given the size of this device. The resolution is 720 by 1640 pixels, and it has a pixel density of 260 ppi. The Redmi 14C comes with Android 14, which you can upgrade to Android 15 by the time of recording this video. I already did that to mine, I already upgraded it, and it has an octa-core processor, Mali G52 processor, and with 8GB RAM and 256 storage. The RAM is extendable. You can extend it to 16GB RAM, which I'll show you in another video on the channel. Just make sure you subscribe for that. I'll show you how to go about it if you need more RAM, but from my experience you don't really need that extra RAM. The processor and the RAM, the default 8GB RAM inbuilt, work quite well. I usually play just one game on this one. It's eFootball, which is quite intensive. I've tested it out at maximum graphic settings and it handles it surprisingly well. It's only on few occasions when maybe it buffers or freezes here and there, but it doesn't happen often enough to be annoying. So you can play this, you can play your games very smoothly with this processor and RAM. It will handle them quite well. Also use the phone to edit my YouTube videos at 1080, and it using Power Director, and it handles them really well without any delays or hanging or freezing. This will do most basic tasks without any issues. Remember, this is a budget smartphone, but you can virtually get any kind of demanding task done. And also for watching YouTube videos and any other videos, inbuilt, Netflix and all that, this really does a good job. the pictures are quite clear. Of course, it's not an OLED display or AMOLED display which will give very vivid colors, but it does a really surprisingly good job. I really love it. The only problem is when you go outside, this doesn't do quite well even at maximum brightness, so take note of that. But indoors and in the evenings when you're outside, it really does a really good job. For watching videos, it's quite a great it's a good device given even the size of the screen and the quality of the screen. And I forgot to mention, you can see it has a teardrop notch. This doesn't interrupt your viewing experience in any way. You just get used to it. I've come from a phone without any notch, but I took just a couple of days and I got used to the notch. So now that we have seen the display is okay, I'll do a few camera tests. This is the Redmi 14C front-facing camera. I'm recording this video outdoors and I'm using the inbuilt mic for audio. That's how it sounds and that's how it looks. On this next clip, this is the rear camera, the main camera, the dual camera. I haven't altered any settings. That's the default setting, how it came out of the box. So be the judge of the quality. Just watch the video and maybe give me your thoughts in the comment section. For the photos, here on the left, this is the selfie camera, the front camera. I used portrait mode to take that picture, that's why the background is blurred. And on the right, that's the main camera, the rear camera, without any special settings. Just tell me what you think in the comment section. So you'll judge for yourself whether it's a good camera or not. And just so you know, there are a few videos which on this channel which I've done using this device. So I'll put them up in the description so that you can see how it does in case you want to use this for content creation and all that. But most of my shots are overhead shots, product reviews. So if you are into that, you can see the videos so you can know whether you can invest in this if you want to do the same on your YouTube channel. Now we'll go to battery life and charging. So I'll just bring the charger here. So this is a 33 watt charger, but this phone only takes a maximum of 18 watts. I've tested that. So I don't know what you'll be doing with this, but it's just a nice thing to have. If you have something that needs more power, you can use this. Maybe there's some laptops which can take this, so you'll use that if you have that. So but this takes a maximum of 18 watts so if you have an 18 watt charger lying around, you can use that. And it doesn't have wireless charging, of course. It's a budget smartphone. Charging this to 18 watts takes about, I tested it once or twice, it takes about 2 hours, give or take, a few more minutes of a few less minutes, but on average it takes around 2 hours to charge it up. But don't worry, that's despite taking that long to charge, this phone can easily last you a day. Even if you're a moderate to slightly heavy user, this should last you easily throughout the day. There's sometimes I've gone with this phone for 2 days without having to charge it, and I use it quite frequently enough, making calls, texting here and there, and that's quite impressive. It's a 5160 milliamp hour battery, so it does a really good job for that. If you're looking for something that will last you throughout the day without having to worrying about plugging it in between the day, this is a good phone for that. And especially for the price, I'd highly recommend you go for it. So for the speaker and call quality, I'll just play some music here so you can get an idea of how it sounds. It has just one speaker here. It doesn't have any other stereo speaker. It's just this loudspeaker. That's what you'll have to rely on. So it doesn't sound really good, but it's good enough for the price, but it's not the best. So I recommend you use earphones, considering you have a headphone jack, or you can use any other Bluetooth earphones. You can, by the way, you can check out on the channel. I've reviewed tons of earphones which you can choose from in case you don't have one. So I'll just look for a song. So let me just play this. So as you could hear, the speaker isn't the best. The bass isn't quite there, but for a budget phone, I won't complain much about that. Yeah, it's just under $120, so that's acceptable for this device. And from experience, I'll just give you the pros and cons that you should know before you get this device. Uh, First of all, for the first good thing about this phone, it's the battery life. It's quite impressive. The battery life is quite impressive. I really love it. I've I got this phone after using a Samsung phone, which usually barely lasted half a day, but it's an old phone, but uh, it lasts quite longer than most flagships, if not all. So it's quite a good phone to have. If you need a phone with good battery life, I'd highly recommend you go for this. Also, it's affordable. It's a budget smartphone, but you don't compromise on a lot. You get 8 GB RAM, 256 GB storage, and decent camera, decent enough camera, especially for the photos. The videos are a bit wanting, but for the photos it does a really good job. You also get a headphone jack if you're an audiophile and you know that Bluetooth earphones don't really replace wired earphones. You can take advantage of that. Also, in some countries there's NFC. Depending on where you are in your region, there's NFC on this device, so you can use it for payments and all that. Also, you get quite a decent power brick. Most flagships you won't get this, you'll just get a cable, but this is quite a good power brick to have. So I'll just keep this as a spare since I have others that I use, so it's quite a good thing to get in the box. And lastly, the design. This phone looks quite good, except for this camera bump, this switch I find a bit ugly and a bit too large and maybe unnecessary, but it's quite good. Even the color, you can see this, the starry blue version, it looks quite good. So this is a phone you'd not want to use a cover on, but of course that will come at the cost of maybe dropping it and leaving dents on it. So for the things which I don't like about this one, the brightness. If you're outside on a sunny day, you'll barely see anything, even at maximum brightness. So that's one thing to take note of. The speaker is another thing which I found to be wanting, but I usually use my earphones most of the time, so I can just let that slide. But if you want something that you can use to watch movies without or videos without having to use earphones, this one might not be the phone for you. So, and lastly, as I say, the camera bump, but there's some people who like this, so it's subjective. It does, but that's just from my opinion. They would have done something a bit different with this. It's too much. Yeah, so that's about it with this phone. I leave links in the description and the pinned comment. Now you can buy it, and if you have any questions or if you have anything you'd like anybody's getting this phone to know and you already have it, just leave it in the comment section. And I also have a newsletter which you can follow so that you can get the latest tech news and deals on gadgets like this one's, power banks and all that. So thanks for watching. See you in the next video.